The Galaxy Note 10 Plus and the S10 devices are packed with a ton of different settings that you can change. Well, in today's video, I'm going to show you how to quickly adjust the 28 most important settings. Let's get started. Hey everybody, welcome to Tech with Brett, where I help tech work for you. So I could make an individual video for every single one of these, but I decided to pack all of these into one video. So I will leave timestamps in the comments below so you can quickly get to the feature that you're looking for. So in today's video, I'm mainly going to be using the Note 10 Plus, but this should also work on your S10 Plus, S10, S10e, as long as you have the latest software update. Now there are one or two things missing, but I'll show you how you can enable some of those features. So starting off, let's talk about what the quick settings are. So if you pull down your notification tray, usually you'll see your notifications here, but at the top you have the option for these 6 quick settings. So that means if I tap on one of the settings, it's going to quickly change. So there it went from mute to volume. And if I tap it again, it's going to go to vibrate, and I tap it again and it's going to go to mute. So here are 6 of them. If you pull down one more time, you're going to have a lot more options there. You can see there are a ton of different quick settings. So there are so many settings on these Samsung phones that Samsung has decided these are the most important things that we would like you to get to very quickly. So one cool tip is if you want to get to that big list, you can use 2 fingers to pull down the top and it will jump right into that big list. So first, let's talk about a few ways you can customize this before we go into what every single one of these does. So to adjust this, if you tap on the 3-dot menu, you have a few options. So one is button order. So if I want to adjust this order, I could do that. So if I want to move the flashlight to one of the first options, I could move it up there, or move it down, or move it to a different page. Let's say you keep accidentally hitting auto rotate, you could move it down further, and then when you hit done, that will no longer show up as one of the quick options there. So if you're missing something, pull this down, menu, button order, and then you could move that back up to where it belongs. At the top, you have other buttons that you could add to the quick panel settings, but those have come from other applications that I have downloaded. So some apps will add those, but not many. So we're gonna select done here, and then we're gonna select the menu and button grid. So let's say you want to have bigger icons there. You could select the button grid and there it went to 3x3, or you could select 5x3. So there you have a lot more options on one page. We're gonna keep it at 4x3 today. So the next setting is hide media and devices. So down here at the bottom, you have the option to go into media and see your devices. So if we tap on media, it will show us any of the music that we are currently listening to. And we have the options to pause, go to the next track, change the volume, and all that right from this menu. So next we have devices. This allows you to quickly connect to things like SmartThings or maybe your Galaxy Buds or other Bluetooth devices that you have. You can come in here and turn those on and off. So actually right here, I have an outlet that I can just tap and it will turn on and off. And that's because this is all integrated within Samsung SmartThings, which a lot of my smart devices are set up on. And then here I can actually adjust my shades and all kinds of different items. And then you can hold down and move them to where you want. And let's say I want my Galaxy Buds to be one of the first options here. If you want to quickly connect or disconnect to a device, you could tap on one of these. But if you don't want certain items to show up here, you can select the menu and you can go to choose your devices and you can uncheck these so that they don't show up there. So this is if you're connecting to other devices or SmartThings, that's going to be really important. So I like to have that option right there, but if you don't want it, you could turn it off. And then next we have status bar. So status bar is going to be how many notifications you see up in the top left corner here. So you could have 3 recent notifications, or you could have it show all your notifications and they'll just all line up and you'll see everything. And then down here you have the option to show your battery percentage up there at the top. So we're gonna keep it 3 notifications and go back. So those are all the ways you can personalize your quick settings. Now let's talk about the buttons. So there are 2 ways in which you can interact with pretty much every button. So as you can see, some of them are blue. That means they are on. If you tap the icon, it will turn it off. So now I'm no longer connected to Wi-Fi because I have turned off the Wi-Fi signal on the phone. If I want to turn it back on, I just tap right there and it will turn it back on. Now, if I want to change the Wi-Fi that I'm on, just tap Wi-Fi or the name of the Wi-Fi network, and it will take you into the full Wi-Fi settings so that you can adjust them right there. And then here you could select details, and then it will take you into the full Wi-Fi settings of the phone. So there you can see there are a lot more options there. You can also long press on the icons and it takes you right to the detailed portion. So if I long press on the icon, there it takes me right into the Wi-Fi settings. So now that is how every single one of these is going to be. So if you tap on mute here, you have 3 options. You have mute, you can have the phone vibrate, or you can have the phone make sound. And then here you could temporarily mute. So if I want to just mute for an hour, it's going to do that. And then I have the option to change all the sound. So if I want to adjust the ringtone, the media, notifications, Bixby voice, all of that. And then again, I can select settings, and then it's going to go in and allow me to adjust even more settings there. And so here I can tap through and you can see it says vibrate, mute, or sound. And I like to keep my phone on mute because I have this cool watch that will notify me whenever I have a notification. And real quick, you can see that as I adjust it here, it changes it there. So here you can have your top 6 favorite ones right there. Now next we have Bluetooth. So if we want to turn on and off Bluetooth, we can do that. We can also tap in and see all of the other Bluetooth settings there. And then here we have even more details that we can adjust for Bluetooth. Next we have auto rotate. So this means that it will automatically rotate if you turn your phone. If you keep it in portrait mode, that means your phone's not going to rotate. A lot of people like to use this while in bed. Well, let's say you're trying to watch a movie and then you're trying to watch it in full screen mode, but it's not working. Well, you could come up here and turn on auto rotate, or down here you have this little icon you can touch and it will rotate the video without having to adjust the settings. If we tap on the text, we have a few more settings here where we could have it auto rotate the home screen, auto rotate the lock screen, or auto rotate the voice call screen. So those are all the settings for that. Next we have airplane mode. So airplane mode will completely turn off all the cellular signal, Bluetooth, and Wi-Fi from your phone. If we tap on here, it just tells us more info, and that's the only setting, on and off. You can turn on airplane mode, and then if you want to connect to Bluetooth settings, you can come back in here and turn on Bluetooth. Next we have flashlight. So this will turn on the flashlight on the back of your phone. And then if you want to adjust the intensity, you can actually come in here and change the intensity and the brightness, which is currently being covered up right now. Next, we have power mode. So if we tap power mode, it gives us a few options to change to. So one is high performance. That means it's not going to restrict any of your battery life. Next, you have optimize, where it will just kind of do its best to give you good battery life without restricting your phone. Here you have medium power saving and then maximum power saving. So if you tap on maximum power saving, it's then going to turn off the background data. It's going to turn off always on display, limit the power of your phone, and then it will adjust the brightness and it will adjust the screen resolution to give you the best battery life possible. So here it says it's going to extend my battery 1 day and 21 hours if I apply that setting. So definitely use that if you are in a situation where you cannot charge your phone. But then if I come back into here, tap power mode, the last one here is adaptive power saving mode. So this is automatically going to adjust between these power saving modes based on how you use your phone. So if you're going to use your phone a lot in the morning, it's going to turn on high performance. And if in the afternoon you're not using your phone as much, it will then go to a medium power saving mode. And so it will adjust based on how you use your phone. So I'm going to turn that on right now. So next we have wireless power share. So this allows you to wirelessly charge other phones with your phone's battery. So it's going to use the battery from your phone, but it helps you charge somebody that's in need of power or other devices. So you can use this on the S10 phones as well as the Note 10 devices. So all I need to do is tap on there or turn it on. And then here it's going to give me a notification that it's ready to charge. So you just flip your phone over, and right here on the middle of the back is where the wireless charger is, and there you can see that my Galaxy Buds are charging. So if I charge these for 15 minutes, it will give me about an hour of battery life to use the Buds, which is pretty cool. You can also charge other newer iPhones that have the wireless charging capabilities and other Samsung devices as well. Sometimes I've also had to take off the case of my phone to be able to get it to work. Now this next option, many of the phones don't have, which is mobile data. So this allows me to completely turn off my phone's mobile data with a click of a button. Now all of the phones that come from a carrier don't have this option. I have this option because I bought these phones from Samsung unlocked. So I have that option there, and there is no way to add it. Now, if you do have the mobile data option, long press on the icon, and here it takes us into all the data settings. So we could turn off the data right there. Here we can adjust our mobile data usage. We could change our billing cycle, and we can see how much data we have actually used. And up here, we can see our usage as well. Next, we have mobile hotspots. So my phone, I have a mobile hotspot data plan where I can share my Wi-Fi to up to 8 other people. So if I tap there, it's going to turn it on. If I tap mobile hotspot and then details, it gives me the option where I can change the password. I can have certain devices connected or remove certain devices. And then I can even click this QR code that people can scan to log into my Wi-Fi on their phone. Now next we have link to Windows. This will allow you to link directly to a Windows device where you can actually screen mirror your phone, respond to text messages, and other notifications that pop up. If we select details, we have a few more options. We can link our Microsoft account. And then here we have the option to use mobile data. So that means your computer is going to actually use your phone's data to access the internet. And here you can allow it to improve link to Windows by sending information to Microsoft. So let's check out how this works. So over on my Windows computer, I'm just going to search for the Your Phone application. And on my phone, it requested permission to share my screen to over here. So now you can see that this is the same screen my phone is showing. So I can select home, I can select my recent applications, and so I can use everything that my phone would use. Over here on the right side, we have a few options. So here you can see my battery life. I have my photos, my messages, my notifications, and then mirroring my phone screen. So let's go to notifications. So we can just see whatever notifications we have on our phones. So when I receive a notification, here it pops up, and then I can quickly enter a message. And then it will send it without ever having to touch my phone. So here I can go into messages. So this is just going to use whatever message application you use. I can see my history here, and then I could select add a new message. And then here I can go into photos. So I'm gonna take these photos in a bit, but you can see my most recent photos right there. And then up here, I could hide the menu. So if I wanna see it a little bit bigger. And then down here, I have some settings. So we could turn on and off photos. We have a bunch of message options, notification options as well. And then here we could just have it show our phone screen or just show the notification when we click to open it. And then down here, we could actually choose which applications notify us on the PC. So if we don't want all of our applications, we can come in here and turn them off. So as you can see, it shows a long list of apps. And over on the phone, it's showing connected to your PC, and you have the option to disconnect right here. Next, we have QR code scanner. So once you tap on this, it will open the camera, and then it will allow you to scan a QR code so that it can go right to the website. So next we have blue light filter. So when you turn on the blue light filter, it will reduce eye strain by limiting the amount of blue light emitted by the screen. If we tap on the details, it gives us the option to turn on now or turn on as scheduled. So usually you would want this to turn on at night and then turn off in the morning. I don't recommend having this on all day. It does make your phone look a little weird. Here, I'm going to turn it up all the way and go to the home screen. I just think that looks kind of funny. And maybe if you're looking at pictures or other things, it just might not work very well. So I definitely recommend to go in here, keep it at an okay opacity, and then have it automatically turn on at sunset and turn off at sunrise, or just manually turn it on and off as needed. Next, we have location. So if you want to save a little battery, you could turn off location, but I like to have location on so that if I'm out and about taking pictures, it is recorded where I took that picture. Or if I want to navigate, it just makes it super simple to have location already on. I haven't noticed any problems with battery life, and I always keep my location on. So this will use GPS, Wi-Fi, and other mobile networks to estimate your location. And then here in the details, you can actually choose what applications have access to your location services. So if you want to turn off certain apps, you can come in here and turn off those applications that they won't have access to your location anymore. So next up, we have Smart View. So when you tap on Smart View, it will then begin searching for other devices you have within your home Wi-Fi that your phone can connect to. So here we are seeing different Google Home speakers or different TVs or Samsung speakers that I can mirror my screen to. So let's say I want to mirror my screen to the Chromecast Ultra. If I tap on there, it will then begin casting my phone screen right to the Chromecast Ultra. So anything I do on my phone, you will see over there on the Chromecast screen. Now, when you are casting, you will see this little icon right here, where if you tap on that, it will then give you a few options. So here I can pause sharing. So right now, whatever I see on my screen is not showing up, and it shows you it's paused right there. And then here I can resume. Here I have the option to adjust the phone aspect ratio. So I could go full screen on phone, or I can do full screen on connected device. So when you use the full screen on connected device option, when you're watching videos or pictures on the TV, it won't have black bars at the top and the bottom. And then when you play a video, it won't show up on your phone anymore. It will just cast it right to the TV. Now, if you don't like to see the icon, you can select the settings and you can turn off the floating icon, and there you could adjust your phone aspect ratio. But now that we're done, we're going to select disconnect. So that will play everything from my phone onto the TV. But let's say I want to play a song onto a Google Home speaker that I have nearby. If I go back in, choose Smart View, and then here I have other Google Home speakers. So here I have the Max. I'm going to tap on the Max, and now whenever I play music on my phone, it's going to play on the Max. It will also show the floating icon. Here I can pause or disconnect right there. That's really handy to have instead of going into the Google Home application to mirror your screen. Now the last Smart View setting is down here at the very bottom where it says Other Device to Phone. So if we tap on here, it's then going to show other Samsung Smart TVs that are on my Wi-Fi network that I can send to my phone. So if I tap on one of these, it's going to give me a few options where I can actually view the TV on my phone, or I could play the TV sound on my phone. So now I'm going to tap on View TV, and on the TV it asks for permission to share the screen to another device. So once I have done that, now we can see what is on the TV. So currently my kids are playing Mario Odyssey on the Nintendo Switch, and you can see the aspect ratio is a little funny. So I can tap on the screen and then select View Ratio and change the ratio bigger. So depending on what they're watching, I could adjust it there, but now let's stretch it out a little bit. So pretty cool. You can leave the room and still see what is on your TV. Now next we have Do Not Disturb. So when we go into the Do Not Disturb settings, we can turn it on and off. Or if we go into the details, now we have a few more options. So we could have it turn on now or turn on as scheduled, but now we can allow exceptions. So this means that when Do Not Disturb is on, it's going to limit the alarms and media and calls that you receive. But if you come in here, even when Do Not Disturb is on, you could still have it give you alarms, or you could still have it play media or touch sounds, or maybe you want certain people to be able to call you. You can come in here and turn on who those are. So we could say we want favorite contacts to be able to call, and then we only want messages from our favorite contacts as well. So next we have repeat caller. So maybe somebody's trying to contact you and you have Do Not Disturb on. If they call multiple times, it will still allow those calls to come through. Next you have event and task alerts that you could allow notifications, and then here you have reminders. So you can make that very specific on what you want to have come through your phone when you have Do Not Disturb on. And then here we have one more option to hide notifications. So maybe we're trying to be productive and we're getting distracted by all the notifications. We could turn on Do Not Disturb, and then we could come in here and have it hide all of our notifications so we won't see those until Do Not Disturb is turned off. Next up we have Secure Folder. So Secure Folder allows you to lock certain information from your phone into this folder that's protected by password and other information. So the first time you set this up, you will need to sign in with your Samsung account, as you can back up information securely to the Samsung account within the secure folder. So then here we can choose how we are going to lock the secure folder, and we could also allow fingerprints. So I'm just going to select a pattern right now. Just do this simple one. And now we are in our secure folder. So we have the different applications in there. If we want to add apps, so maybe we have a different Facebook account, we could actually come in here and add different applications that are already installed on our phone. So it makes a separate instance of that app. It's just not copying the other information we already had. So let's say we want to add Facebook, and maybe we want to add a Gmail. So we want a separate Gmail in our secure folder. So now those have been added. So now if I go into Gmail, you can see that there is no Gmail account on here. So this can be completely separate from the Gmail that's already installed on my phone, and I would only have access to this Gmail account within the secure folder. So whenever we select home, it's going to take us back to the home screen of our phone, but we can make a quick app shortcut to go right back into our secure folder. So if we go into all of our apps and search for secure folder, here you will see it. And now let's locate the app, and let's add that to our home screen. So now if we ever want to go back into the secure folder, we can tap right there and it jumps us right back in. Now you do have the options to set time, so whenever you leave, it would automatically lock, or maybe you only want it to lock once a day. You have all of those settings. Now down here we can add files. So let's say there's some pictures I took about things I'm getting my kids for Christmas and I don't want them to see them. So I can come in here to the images and I can go through and find those photos, and then I select done. And now you have the option to move those files or copy them. So I want to move them so they're no longer in the main portion of my phone, so that if they're browsing through my gallery, they are not going to see those. And now if I go into my gallery, here we have those 3 photos. And then if I want to move them out of here for whatever reason, I can select on one. And then up here, I have the option to move out of secure folder. So you can move files back and forth between the two very easily. So again, going home, back into secure folder. And then we have other files that we could add. So we could add video files, audio, documents, and then my files. Now I really like the secure folder because if you're using your personal life and your work life on your phone, this really helps you separate the two. I know my wife uses this on her phone and it's really nice to have her main pictures and then she comes into the secure folder and it's all her work pictures. So it's really great to have those separate. Now you do have a few other options where you can quickly lock it. You can customize the secure folder so you could actually add a name to it. Let's call it work. And then here you can choose the icon that you would like for that. So we're going to select apply there. And now when we hit home, it has changed my secure folder. So in the settings, there are a ton of ways you can customize your secure folder. But down here, I like the option of backup and restore. So if you're using this on one phone, you do want to make sure that you sign into your Samsung account so it can back up all that information. And then whenever you get your new phone, you can come in, sign in, and restore all that so you don't have to reset up your entire secure folder. And that will only be available to restore within a Samsung secure folder. So it's all locked within this little area. And then down here, you have some other options to control the apps and other accounts that are within secure folder. But once we go home, we're back to the home screen. Let's move on to the next. Next, we have NFC. This stands for Near Field Communication. So this is a chip in the back of the phone, and when it comes within 1 inch of another compatible device, it can send information. So this can be used for mobile payments, as well as sending files from one phone to another. So if we tap on NFC, it has the option to turn it on and off. But if we select details, here you can see that right now I have Android Beam turned on, and then I have tap and pay. So Android Beam is where I can open a file or a picture on my phone, tap it to another Android phone, and it will send that file over Bluetooth to the other device. And then here we have tap and pay. So tap and pay is how you can actually make mobile payments with your phone. Now you can choose your different payment services. I choose to use Samsung Pay on a Samsung phone because you can pay with NFC as well as MST, which is a whole nother video I'll have linked in the description below. And then here you could choose Google Pay, or even it looks like American Express has an option as well. And then here you have the option to turn on tap and pay. So if I want to pay with Google Pay, I could turn this on, and then whenever I open the Google Pay app, it will pay from there. So then if we go back and we go into Android Beam, so Android Beam allows us to bring two phones together, tap them, and it will send some info. So now let's find a picture to share. I'm going to open up the gallery, open up a picture, and now all I need to do is make sure NFC is turned on the other phone as well. So there, NFC is on. And then I'm just going to bring them back to back. And here you have the option to touch to beam. So when I tap, it's then going to create a connection between the two and send that file over. Now this does take a minute as it's going to connect through Bluetooth, and then it's going to transfer that file over, and then you'll be able to access the file on the other phone. On the other phone, it did ask if I accept that transmission, and now it is sending that file over. And then the file has been received. We can open it up. And now we have the original quality that I had over here. Now this can also be used to quickly share the application you're using to the other phone. So if I open an app, touch them together, tap to beam, it's then going to take them to that application. If they don't have the app, it will then take them to the Play Store to download it. So next we have always on display. So that's the little picture that you see on your screen when it's locked. So there are a few different options that you have now. So one is you can have it always show, which I currently do, or you can have it tap to show. When you tap the screen, it will show, or you can turn it on as scheduled. So if you want the best battery life, select tap to show, or if you want to do scheduled, that would work too. And if you go into the details here, you have a bunch of options under always on display where you can choose exactly what it looks like. Here you have the option to go from portrait to landscape mode. You can have it do auto brightness, and you can have it show music information right there. So if I lock my screen, and now if I tap the screen, you will see there is the always on display. And these notifications down here, I can double tap them and it will take me right to that notification. I like to have mine show continuously, but you can choose whatever you would like there. And then at any time you can just tap here and it would turn it off. Next, we have phone visibility. So if you're trying to connect to other devices, maybe you're trying to send large files from one Samsung phone to another, you can tap phone visibility, and this will allow other phones to see you and then to send information to you. So if I'm on the S10e and I select share, and then I select send to device, this device won't show up until I select phone visibility, and then it will give me the option to connect to the Note 10 Plus and send that file right over. So there you can see the Note 10 Plus popped up. I can tap on it and send that file after I select accept. Now next we have sync. So sync allows all the different accounts you've added to your phone to automatically back up in the background. If you want to save battery, you could turn that off, but I always keep it on just because if I change something on here and I go to my computer, I want it to be adjusted there. So you could turn it off just by tapping, but then you can just tap it again to turn it back on. So here it says any changes you make to your accounts on the web will automatically be copied to your phone. Some accounts may also automatically copy any changes you make on the phone to the web. Now next we have edge lighting. So this is really cool. When you get a notification, it can illuminate the outside edge of your screen. So if we go into the edge lighting settings, we need to make sure that we turn this on for certain applications. So if we select details, now there are a ton of settings in here, but make sure you adjust it to this. One is to have it always show edge lighting. Next is to change the edge lighting effect. So at default, it's going to look a little bit different here. So you have a few effects. You could do basic, wave, bubble, multicolor. And then if you download what's called Edge Lighting Plus, you can download a bunch more. There's even one for the Note 10 Plus cutout there, but I'm going to keep it with basic. I'm going to change the color, and I like to keep mine at green. For the transparency, put it at low. For width, make it high so that you can see it the best there. And then duration, you could change it from short to long. So that means it's going to stay on the screen a lot longer. So let's put it right in the middle there. We're going to select done. So here we have edge lighting interaction. So if you receive a notification, you can tap on it to open the app. You can then pull it down to pop open that app, or you can swipe it away if you don't want to see that notification anymore. And next we have manage notifications. Now I want to say this right now, if you use it with certain applications, it doesn't work. Like WhatsApp, it doesn't work unless you change settings in WhatsApp, or if you use something like Facebook Messenger, it doesn't work unless you download Facebook Messenger Lite. So there you go, that is my tip there. And so I'm going to turn on all available applications so that everything is working the way I want it to. So now let's test this out. So there you can see the notification, and I could tap on it to open it up, I could swipe it away or pull it down to go into it. So now if I swipe down, it pulls it in a pop-up box and I can respond right there. Next we have Dolby Atmos. So when you tap that, it's going to increase the sound on the phone. So if you're watching a movie or something and it's just not giving enough output, you can come in here and tap that and it will help a little bit more. So if you tap on the text, you can change it from auto mode to movie, music, or voice. All right, so this is what Dolby Atmos off. I definitely heard an increase in sound there. Now next we have Kids Home. So this is an update to Kids Mode that was available years ago on Samsung devices. So if we tap on Kids Home, it's going to take us through the setup process. Now I really love Kids Home because it locks your kids into their own little phone without messing up any of your stuff, and they can't get out in any way. When you go through the setup, you have the option to download certain applications. So you can go through and choose what you want. If you want a video app on there that allows them to view the videos they create, or you can have this voice app, which the kids love, or whatever you want there. Down here, you have what's called Samsung Kids. That's a paid service that you can sign up for, where it gives you access to paid applications and other information. But I just use the free service without going into Samsung Kids. So let's say that's done. We have the option up here to go into parental controls. So this will require a fingerprint or a PIN code to get into so your kids can't mess up any of this stuff. So let's say we name this kid and we put in a birth date, let's say there. And then here we have an option to set playtime. So we have weekdays and then we have weekends. So we could set it unlimited, or we can come over here and choose 175 or whatever we want to have minutes. And then we also have playtime for the weekend. So if we want to have less on the weekdays and more on the weekends, we can do that. Now, if we scroll down, we'll see a usage stat for them. And then here we can see what games they've been playing, who they've contacted if you have allowed them to contact certain contacts. Here you have kid creations, so certain things they've made in applications. Now here you have applications, so this is really cool. So right now, there's only these 3 apps that they would have access to. But if I downloaded an app outside of here and I want them to have access to that, I can select add, and then I come in here and I can choose the application I want them to use. So let's say I want them to be able to play Dr. Mario and this hair salon app that they love. And so you could go through and choose any of those applications. Let's say Mario Kart as well. So we're going to select add, and there you can see those have been added there, and I can click menu, change the order. So then I can move Mario up here, and let's move the hair to the front page so they can see it. Select done and go back. And then you have access to add more things. So let's say I wanted to add some media. Maybe I want them to see some pictures that they're in or whatever content I have. So I could add other things in here like movies or music. And then here you have the option to take you to the Galaxy Store to download more applications. Now, I definitely recommend checking the applications before you allow them to play them. Some apps have ads, which if they click on, it doesn't allow them to see that, which is really nice. But just make sure that they are playing games that are appropriate for their age. So now that we've done that and we go back, here you can see these little presents. So if they tap on the present, they then unlock their new application. So maybe they finished all their chores, you could give them a new app or something like that. So I really love Kids Home. And then if we press the home button, it doesn't let us leave. If you select back, you then have the option to type in your PIN code, or you can select menu and close Kids Home. And then there with my fingerprint, it unlocks and I'm back at my home screen. And the first time you go in, make sure you do set up a PIN code so you know how to unlock Kids Home. So next we have Bixby Routines. So when you tap on here, it's just gonna turn them on and off. But as what a Bixby routine is when something happens to your phone, it will automatically adjust other things. So let's go ahead and go to My Routines. And then let's say we wanna add a new routine. So let's call this Gym, and then let's add. So if something happens, so if it changes to a certain time, or you were at a certain place, or maybe you connected to certain headphones or Bluetooth device, or you receive an incoming call, you can choose tons of different options for this. So let's just say Bluetooth device. So I'm testing out these new Echo Buds right here. So let's say whenever the Echo Buds connect, then we can choose what happens. So we could have airplane mode turn off, or the location changes, or our hotspot changes. So you have a ton of different things. You can see the keyboard sound changes, the sound mode changes, the edge lighting adjusts, brightness, all of these different controls that you can have set when I open this box. So let's go to open an app. And then here I can choose what application I want, or I can search. So here I'm gonna scroll down to YouTube Music, and I could have it open YouTube Music, play an offline mixtape, or search. So I'm gonna have it open YouTube Music, and then I'm going to select done. If we go back into the routine, we can also add multiple things to happen. So maybe I want it to open YouTube Music and then beep for whatever reason. I could do that. So I'm gonna play with these a lot more, but let me show you what happens now when I do that. So now when we open our Echo Buds, it should automatically open YouTube Music. So once they connected, it opened it up, and then it beeps. And then you can set up all kinds of things. So when you connect to your car, certain applications open, or whatever other devices that you have. Now next we have navigation bar. So down here at the bottom, this is the navigation bar. So if I tap that, it's going to turn that bar off and move to the gestures. If we go into the text here, you can see it goes navigation buttons, or full gestures. And then if we go to details, it's gonna give us a little more information. So you're probably used to navigation buttons where you have the recent apps, the home button, and the back button. Well, I was using full screen gestures for a long time, so this is really cool. If you swipe up, it's gonna take you home. If you swipe over on the right side, it takes you to the recent apps. And if you swipe over here, it takes you back. So I really like using the gestures, but there are two things I don't like. One is if I was using my phone on the treadmill and I try to go home, it was pretty hard to swipe up to go home. The second, if I handed my phone to anybody to use for a minute, even my kids, they couldn't figure out how to use it and it was making them pretty frustrated. So I've gone back to keeping them on full navigation buttons. Now next we have night mode. So night mode changes your whole experience on your phone from a light experience to a dark experience. So right here you can see this is a dark background. If I turn off night mode, it is now gone to a light background. You can see all of this is light. And then if I go into certain applications, so like let's go into the Contacts app, you can see it's light, but if I come in here and turn on night mode, now you can see the Contacts app is dark. So now Google and a lot of other people are adding a dark mode to their application. So if you have this on in your settings, it's automatically going to adjust the night mode in that application. If we tap on here and go to details, we do have the option to turn on as scheduled. So every night at 9 o'clock, it could automatically turn on dark mode. So at night, when you open your phone, it's not going to blind you with the bright light, but then the next morning it will turn back to the regular UI and you have that nice looking look throughout the day. Now, one of the other great things about using night mode is because Samsung uses an AMOLED screen, wherever you see black on the screen, that means that the pixels are off. So that means it's going to increase the battery life if you are using night mode. So I always keep mine on and I really like the look of it. Now, so far, every setting that we talked about has been added to the S10 and the S10e with the latest update. Now we're going to some territory that isn't available on the Galaxy S10 devices. First, let's talk about screen recorder, which is really cool to have. So screen recorder, if I tap on here, it's automatically going to start screen recording. So now anything that I do on my phone, it's going to record that so that I can view it later or share that information. Up here, I can tap the little arrow, and here I can choose a different pen where I can highlight information. I can change the color. I could actually turn on the front-facing camera, so I would show up as well. I can undo the drawings, and then when I'm done, I can select stop, and it has then saved that recording. Now in here, I do have a few more settings. Here we can have it record media sounds the phone plays, as well as the mic. So if I'm talking, it would record that. We could choose just media sounds, or we could choose no sound. And then here we can choose the quality. So 1080p is going to be higher quality, 720p, and then 480p. So if we go into the settings, we see all of that, and then we can also adjust the selfie video size. So if I wanted to increase that video that it showed up on screen of me, I could do that right here. And now going into the gallery here, we can see the final video. It's going to record that so the recorded video is really clean. It also has this gift option, so we could cut it a little bit, but that is one of the coolest things that you have on the Note 10 Plus. Now on the S10, that is not there, but I found that if I went into the Galaxy store and I did have to go through my history and find something called Nice Shot, I'll leave a link to that down below if you can't find it, but Nice Shot allows you to take a screenshot and then do video recording. So let me show you what I mean. So if I take a screenshot by holding the power button and the volume down, it will take a screenshot, but then I have this option for video right there. So now it's going to start recording a video. So I can scroll through. So if I tap the little arrow here, it gives me a pen where I can write on the screen. And then I could change the color as well, but I get an eraser here where I can actually erase it. And then I can select stop. Now that little pop-up that you saw right there, that does not actually show up in the final recording. So you don't have to worry about that messing up whatever you are trying to record. So now if we go into our gallery, there you can see my recording is right there. So I do have that option. It's not as quick to get to as the Note 10 Plus, but it's really great that it's there. And that is by downloading the Nice Shot application through the Galaxy Store. Now the very last quick setting here on the Note 10 Plus is S Pen Air Actions. So this allows you to quickly go into the settings to adjust things that your S Pen can do. If you turn S Pen Air Actions off, it will disconnect your S Pen and you will need to place it in to get it connected again. So if we go into the text here and select details, and then go down here, we have app actions. So there are 6 different actions you can use with the S Pen, and then certain apps can do different actions based on that. So let's take the camera for example. If we're in the camera and we press the button, it's going to record a video or take a picture. If we double press, it's going to switch cameras. Now down here we have the gestures options. So there's 6 different actions. You can go up, down, left, right, a clockwise circle, or a counterclockwise circle. And then each of these you can adjust to do different things. So let's say we swipe up, switches cameras, down switches cameras, left is next mode, right is previous mode, and then clockwise is zoom in, counterclockwise is zoom out, or you have the do nothing option. So let's go try those out. So if we're in the camera and we press once, it takes a picture, double press, switches camera. So now if I hold down the button and swipe up, it goes to the front camera, hold the button, swipe down, it goes to the front facing camera. So now let's say I wanted to change to video. So if I hold down the button and swipe, it's gonna go to video. If I swipe the other way, it will go back to photo. So now if I wanna zoom in, I hold down the button and go clockwise, and it will zoom in and it will keep zooming until I let go. And then if I wanna zoom out, I hold down the button and go counterclockwise, and it will zoom out, and it can go all the way to the ultra wide. Now I have noticed if you hold down the button, it will do the quick capture where it captures about 100 photos in a few seconds. So you need to make sure that you hold down and move kind of at the same time. So if I hold down and then move, it will happen. But if I just hold down and then move, it's already started taking a bunch of photos. So I hope this was helpful in learning about what your phone can do. If you have any further questions about the quick settings, please let me know in the comments below. And I'd love to know what is your favorite quick setting that you use all the time. If you want to see more videos about the Galaxy Note 10 Plus, check out the playlist over here, or the S10, check out the playlist down there. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.